Conservative backbench rebels who defeated the government last week are urging Theresa May to reach out to Labour MPs and form a cross-party alliance for a soft Brexit. As May's Brexit team prepares to debate Britain's future relationship with the EU on Monday before a full meeting of her divided cabinet on Tuesday, the dissident MPs believe last week's vote should embolden her to face down hardline Brexiters. 11 Tories defied the leadership last Wednesday to support an amendment aimed at ensuring that Parliament gets a vote on the final Brexit deal before Britain leaves the EU. The defeat, May's first over Brexit, concerned process rather than substance, but the rebels believe it should embolden the Chancellor, Philip Hammond, and his cabinet allies, the Home Secretary, Amber Rudd, and the Business Secretary, Greg Clark, by underlining the fact that no parliamentary majority exists for a hard Brexit. At least two of the amendment's Tory backers, dubbed mutinies by the Daily Telegraph, have talked to senior figures at No 10, including May's Chief of Staff, Gavin Barwell, about the idea of drawing on supportive Labour MPs to form a soft Brexit caucus in the House of Commons. They believe such an approach would allow the Prime Minister to argue for a close future relationship with the EU, potentially including continued membership of the customs union, and have advised her to pick off Labour rebels before the Frotbeck hardens its own policy. The UK could sign up to all the EU's rules and regulations, staying in the single market, which provides free movement of goods, services and people, and the customs union, in which EU members agree tariffs on external states. Freedom of movement would continue and the UK would keep paying into the Brussels pot. We would continue to have unfettered access to EU trade, but the pledge to take back control of laws, borders and money would not have been fulfilled. This is an unlikely outcome and one that may be possible only by reversing the Brexit decision, after a second referendum or election. Britain could follow Norway, which is in the single market, is subject to freedom of movement rules and pays a fee to Brussels, but is outside the customs union. That combination would tie Britain to EU regulations but allow it to sign trade deals of its own. A Norway A- deal is more likely. That would see the UK leave the single market and customs union and end free movement of people. But Britain would align its rules and regulations with Brussels, hoping this would allow a greater degree of market access. The UK would still be subject to EU rules. A comprehensive trade deal like the one handed to Canada would help British traders, as it would lower or eliminate tariffs. But there would be little on offer for the UK services industry. It is a bad outcome for financial services. Such a deal would leave Britain free to diverge from EU rules and regulations, but that in turn would lead to border checks and the rise of other non-tariff barriers to trade. It would leave Britain free to forge new trade deals with other nations.